Hey, how's it going? Dan Kitajima again. Tips on how to grow your insurance agency. Today, I want to go over my compensation plan. This is a question I get asked repeatedly, so I wanted to go over my compensation plan so we could find the right balance of how to keep your staff motivated and what could make sense for the agency in the long run too. So before we get started, there's really no right or wrong way to do this. It's just the way I have compensated my staff for the last 13 years and has worked well for me. So just want to share my thoughts and strategies behind why I have the compensation plan set up this way. So first thing I wanted to go over is the base. So in general, it's an hourly plus commission position. And when I recruit people, during the application process, I let them know this is a long-term process. Employee retention is something that's very important for us. And we want people that to stay with their agency for a long period of time, so that way they could grow within the agency. Because the way I have done it is to find people that are hungry and with a great attitude and great work ethic, but that doesn't mean necessarily they have to have the experience. So most likely they wouldn't have a license. They may came from different industries such as restaurant or um, retail, different industries such as that. But maybe some sales experience, customer service experience in different call centers. Those type of experience help too. But we need to have a base to be able to recruit people. It's going to be very difficult. Although we may want to find people that are very sales hungry and have very performance heavy compensation plan without a base, but I think a base is helpful when it comes to recruiting people. Entry level position, we want to be competitive. So I start at $15 an hour. I'm located in Southern California, Orange County. So that's not exactly a high paying job, but it is something where, somebody who wants to have some sort of guaranteed knows that at least that will be there as something to have a guarantee, even if you don't have a great start in even if you're not in sales. So that is a number I would say definitely higher than the minimum wage, obviously, but it is a level that I feel that would have people who are humble, have a sense of humility, will apply for. Uh, that they understand that, hey, I'm starting from the beginning, starting from the bottom, and I'm going to work my way up because I see other producers and from what is being told that I have a higher earning potential in the future. So that's where I start off with. All right. And during this first 60 days, there's no bonus. There's no, there's no other performance incentives um, compensation plan. Just 60 days of good activity and good attitude is really all we expect. And I do let them know in 60 days there'll be a little a review to go over your progress. And just to go before we get into commission, I just want to let you guys know that the way I have it set up is during those first 60 days, I talked about it before, but the expectation is very low. They're just a support role. We just want them to have almost like an administrative secretarial job. And then, during those 60 days, then they'll eventually get into more customer service roles, talking to people, talking to people who are a little bit late on payments. So in the beginning, it's just like data entry, folding envelopes, chatting with farmers or your company that you represent, and going talking to DMV or verifying insurance for lien holders. Just really, really easy work is really what you want to start off with people with, which is what I do. So they could gain the confidence of, hey, I'm still helping out the team. I'm able to listen to other people talk about insurance, and they're absorbing it so they get better, and really want to start the process very slow with low expectations, secretarial, okay, customer service, and then they'll get into sales. So to be able to do sales, obviously we have to get licensed with the state. So that's the whole process there. So that process could take anywhere between, in my agency, about 6 months. Is usually around the time where, hey, I'll make the investment. Hey, this person has seems committed, has shown great work ethic, has great attitude. Again, those are the two things I look for. Let's get them licensed, and now that they're licensed, let's go over to their comp plan. So 10% of the premium goes to them. Okay, so whether that be a 6 month auto or a 12-month anything else, 10%. Okay, so $1,000 6 month auto policy, $100. Very simple math. I don't have different tiers. It's just simple. Again, it works really well for me. And Yeah, everything else, 12 months policies, they get 10% of the 12-month premium. So it's really easy. Um, no renewals. Okay, I'm sure that's going to be a question that's going to come up. I pay for the leads. Okay, a lot of it leads. It's very important for them to be busy so they can make a decent living because where I'm located, you got to look at different industries and different sales positions. But a high-paying sales closer position will make anywhere from 70,000 and easily over 100,000 a year. So we want to have a compensation plan that can compete with that. So it is a little bit more maybe front heavy where. And the reason I have it set up that way is because when you're calling leads and when we're working with the competition that we have here, uh, insurance sales, it's very competitive and it's not easy, so it takes a lot of effort and takes a lot of skill and takes a lot of training and takes a lot of persistence to be able to close a policy. So I want to make sure there's enough compensation for them in the front end for them to be motivated every month to sell policies. Because if it's too low of a compensation plan, or maybe ones that are more based on renewals, which work great for other agents, but for me, I want them to be motivated right now to sell policies right now so they can have a bigger check right now. Okay. And then the way it works out, because since there isn't any renewals, even though right now I'm paying for the hourly, I'm paying for the leads, I'm paying for, you know, um, basically all the commission, or maybe even more than that, because sometimes our commission plan isn't even at 10%. Um, so what obviously we're in it for is for the renewals. Okay, so as an agency owner, I think that's the situation we're in. We're making an investment when it comes to purchasing leads, when it comes to staffing. It's definitely not going to help out our next folio. We're looking at it as an investment for the future. So that's why I want them to be motivated for the short term, because the employee situation, the position is a little bit more, they're thinking short term. They're thinking about their next check, and maybe their financial situation is more suited for to being an employee rather than a business owner. Whereas what we do is we make the investment now, and pay see the dividends later on. Year one, after year two, year three. There's gonna be rate increases, so that helps out. Um, so that's how I have it set up there. Okay. Other performance incentives compensation. Okay, I like to monitor everything, such as renewal payments. So I play a game with the employees that could help them make a little bit of extra money. I don't want to get all into the details of that. And I know other agency owners have done it different ways, but it's good to have little incentives too for things that are beneficial for the agency. So it roughly ends up being about $10. You can get lucky, or there's an element of luck, but it roughly ends up being $10 in my agency. And these are some of the things that qualify for them for that. And these are great too, because a non-licensed staff member after their 60 days could qualify for these incentives. So that'll be a renewal payment, 5 payments in a one day. So getting a renewal payment, I think that's great for the agency, obviously, because that's a renewal payment. Helping a client do a review and making sure they renew, and manually taking the renewal payment. Okay, so for other things, is taking 5 payments in a day. So that's more based off people who are working lists, pending cancellation lists. That shows activity level. Hey, they're calling, getting payments. That's great. Getting a 5-star review. Okay, that's also great. It shows that the customers are happy and they're leaving us review, which helps us out with marketing too. So getting a 5-star review, also another way to win $10 or more. Helping a client out with a claim, adding a car and a driver. So there's different incentives, and it's a great way to have people kind of focus and looking out for ways to help out the agency. So there's a list of things like that that could help out the agency. And I think those small incentives could really add up too, and it really shows that some people are really having higher activity levels than others when they're getting these results in. All right. So, some of these questions I've had in the past. Okay, how's the employee retention without the renewals? Because the renewals and I could see that how employees getting renewals, then they could really help out their retention. One of the reasons to stay with the agency. Well, I've had good luck with employee retention. This year I'm going to have 4 employees. Today is one of the employees' 5-year anniversary today, and I have 4 more that's going to go be into their fifth, are in their 5th year right now. Another agent that's in her 9th year right now. So, employee retention I have good luck with, even without the renewal piece tied into the compensation. The way I look at it is if someone is doing really well, okay, and the base could also fluctuate a little bit too. It doesn't really go anywhere higher than for me right now, $20 an hour. But the base could go up. That's not really how you make the high income in this agency. But if you're training somebody, like if you have more of a managerial role, that could justify having the base increase from $15 as the years go along. But to go over the retention piece when it comes to employees, if they're doing really well, so the base could go up a little bit, but most of it is going to be based on, okay, if you're doing really well, then I want to provide you more leads, and that's going to increase your income potential too. So I almost look at it as leads as compensation because, um, without me having to pay for the renewals for them, that means I have a bigger budget for leads. And as the year has gone on, I have been making more of an investment on leads. And that's kind of the way I keep it going and keep people motivated because you can have a great comp plan, but if you're not providing leads for your employees, then how motivated could they be? So one of the ways I look at, staff incentives is like making sure I'm thinking, hey, how much leads and how much opportunity am I providing my employees? All right. And then another thing to consider also, it's a good point, when it's a very performance based compensation plan, where a lot of people are very focused in on sales because the upfront potential is higher, maybe, then could customer service level could it lack a little bit? And that's a great question. Okay, and that's something that I always have to keep in mind too, because you obviously get paid more for doing sales and customer service. So how do we keep the customer service level up? And to answer that question, it's going to have to be something where it's just comes from me. It has to be a built-in culture. It's something that even our top producers will do customer service. So customer service is something that I kind of police. I make sure everybody's doing a great job at it. Even though you may not be compensated for customer service, it is something that I make sure they understand that for our agency to grow, we just can't be all sales. We have to not only start the policy, but service them so they like staying with us. And that's really the way our agency grows. And that's really the way, you know, uh, agency grows long term and really to be able to have an employee mindset become not only short term but long term as well. That's when I think a lot of great things happen because obviously as agency insurance owners we have to think long term, but if you start having employees that think long term as well, then if you could get that synergy and have people thinking the same way that you are, that means a lot of good things can happen at your agency. So that's really it, guys. Okay, pretty basic base, $15 to $20 an hour. I don't have any tiers where if you hit a certain new business numbers, then you get a certain, different percentage or anything like that. Just flat 10% all the way through, even if you're brand new or if you're been here for 10 years. That's just kind of how I've done it. So just wanted to share with you guys because I got this question before many times. So there it is. All right. Hopefully it helps. And until next time, let's get it. Thanks, guys.